In this video, I'm going to share with you guys 5 Instagram video editing tips guaranteed to get you more views. If that sounds good with you, let's get right into it. One thing I want to make clear is all of these are editing principles. It does not matter which editing software you use. Okay, so the first thing you can do in the editing process to ensure that your videos get the most amount of views from Instagram, aka they show your videos to the most amount of people, is make sure your videos are in the proper aspect ratio. Now what I mean by that is there's a few different aspect ratios depending on where your videos are going on Instagram. So let's talk about the feed first. The first one being is the regular 1080 by 1080 square. You see these all the time. Everybody uses these. This is kind of the Instagram standby staple. The next aspect ratio you need to know about is the 1080 by 1350. This is the portrait mode version, which takes up a little bit more space on your Instagram feed. This is a really good version if you're doing more vertical videos. This works really well. But let's move to the wide version, which is this is the YouTube version. This is 1080 by 1920. This is what you see most YouTube videos filmed in. And in my opinion, on the Instagram feed, this looks like crap. It just doesn't entice people to watch all the way through or entice people to share it. So on the feed, I think you should definitely focus on the 1080 by 1080 or the 1080 by 1350. Okay, now let's talk about Instagram story. This is the full vertical mode. This is full portrait, and this is also the same as IGTV. Now, one thing you want to be noted is when you're doing IGTV is that they only see the first minute on the feed. So it is a 1080 by 1080 square, even though it's going on the IGTV feed. But IGTV, in my opinion, probably penalizes you for not having a full 1080 by 1080 video done in the editing process. Here's the easiest thing you can do. Film all of your content like this as if you were filming for YouTube. Then you can take this and you can turn it into a 1080 by 1080 square like this, a 1080 by 1350 like this, as well as you can take it all the way up to a 1080 by 1920 for IGTV and stories like this. So to get the most out of your footage, film it wide, like as if you were filming for YouTube. That way you can repurpose it for all the different things and then edit it in your post-production to the proper aspect ratio. So those are all the aspect ratios. Just decide kind of what size and what you want before you go into filming, and it'll really help you kind of quickly through the editing process. Okay, so now that you got the aspect ratio right and you're making good videos, the next thing that you can do in the editing process to make it more enticing to click and get shown is add in a headline. Like you were seeing on the screen right now, a good enticing headline will make people want to click it, as well as if it's posted later on your feed, it will stand out. People can read the words. For fonts to use for this, there's a myriad of fonts, but look for something that is bold and is easy to read. And I urge you not to get too crafty with the headline. Just kind of make it so people can read it. That's what you're trying to do. You want people to see it, stop. That's all this is doing. So when they're scrolling, they see your headline, they stop. So they don't use a lot of words. Keep it kind of simple and concise, and use a good bold font that is easier to read. These take about 2 seconds to add in the editing process, so I highly urge you to add in a good headline. Okay, the next thing you can do in the editing process to ensure that your videos get clicked is a good thumbnail. The worst thing you want, or the one thing you don't want, is just Instagram lets you choose which thumbnail you want uploaded. You can choose what picture they see before they click on your video. Don't have it where your face is like this. It always seems to catch a really bad one, so just an FYI there. This can be done very simply by just taking a screenshot of where you are like kind of just standing there like this. Maybe you're smiling, maybe you're doing something. Just go back in and screenshot something from the video and ensure that you put that to the front to make sure that it just doesn't look all awkward when you're doing it. This is just an easy process. This is something simple that can be done. You can actually take that photo and you can edit it in Lightroom and you can make it brighter and more vibrant. That's completely up to you. You don't need to do that. These are the little steps that you can do to ensure that your videos look better and are more professional. When it sits on your feed, after the video has been posted, it looks more enticing to click. So this is gonna get you some residual views. Now, when you're just scrolling through the feed, the thumbnail does not matter at all. The title is way more important because you're just scrolling. This is just a simple practice you can do. Get in the habit of also editing your photos, which is something I recommend all the time, especially if you've been watching this channel. And it's something you can do in the editing process to ensure you get more views later. What you can do in the editing process to make sure your Instagram videos get more views is fast cuts, zooms, and strategic B-roll. The combination of these 3 things done every 3 to 5 seconds, and sometimes even faster in the video, will break up the monotony, especially if it's just a talking head like this video is right now. you just want to break up the eye and make it easier for the person to consume. The jump cuts are really good for cutting out any useless speech, as well as the zooms. You can emphasize points, and the B-roll just kind of adds in a extra aspect when you want to make another point. Like, this can be used in so many different ways. Don't get too caught up in it, but just make sure every 3 to 5 seconds something is happening in your video, and it will keep it more entertaining and will make your average view duration longer, which is something I talk about, which is how long people watch your videos. And the longer people watch your video, the more Instagram will have the incentive to show them to more people. The next thing you can do is add in captions and subtitles. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can add in text to emphasize points so people can, again, break up the video, but also having the subtitles going across the whole video. So if somebody does happen to be watching the video without the sound on, they can read along while you're talking. It's much easier now with services like rev.com, which is like $1 per finished minute to subtitle your whole video. I use an app called Mix Captions, and it does it all automated for you. It's a very easy thing to use, and this is just something you can do in the editing process to give you that professional feel. And as much as I hate to admit it, a lot of people do watch videos with their sound off, so this is a must for getting that average view duration up and that watch time. So add in captions and subtitles to your videos, and you will thank me later. Another bonus tip you can do is add in a progress bar like you see on this screen. There's a lot of different ways to do this, depending on which editing software you use, but adding in a progress bar or some way for the viewer to know how long or how much of the video they have left. And this can be done in many things. It could be just a bar across the bottom of the screen. I've seen people use images that slide across. I've seen countdown timers. Whatever that may be, just give people an incentive to keep watching all the way through to the end. Now again, this is not imperative. If you're doing everything else that I said here, your videos will get good views. They will get shown by Instagram, but this is just a little bonus tip, a little extra, and you see a lot of people do it. But again, don't get hung up on it if you can't do it. The more important thing is to put out as many videos as you possibly can. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like and comment on this video. The more you like this video and subscribe, really helps the YouTube algorithm show this video to more people. As well as if you're watching all the way to the end, you know the importance of average view duration. I've gone ahead and I put together another video, which you will see on the screen right now, that really walks you through how to increase your average view duration. And I think you should definitely check that out because you have made it this far, so obviously it's important. That's it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.